Peace, 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 peace. Welcome to the show, everybody. And I do mean peace. You know, when we begin the show. How's it going, everybody? Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Kelly Carrick. Diva on a Budget. Not in Vogue. Debbie. Shabbat. Nico Pancakes. Cav. Logan Keel. Deborah C. Not in Vogue. Teresa McGuire. Chicken Nugget. Who cares? Username, who cares? Of course we care. That's the username. I'm just reading. Akolu, please send fruit gummy. Robbie Lorraine. How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Hi, Catherine. Tip your host. Thank you. Oh, Terry.
Teresa McGuire tipped $25.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry. Thank you so much. I have, because it's so hot up in here, and summer is summering, I have been out and about, and I found something really cool, and I thought to myself, let's make, whenever somebody sends a tip, let's make, you know, when we write the tip on an object, I thought this one is really functional. Very, 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 very functional. Check this out. I got a fan, Japanese style fan, and we're going to write all the names here. So basically it is kind of an arts and crafts fan. So I have like both sides and I can kind of fan myself and then your names are on the fan. So it's always visible. I thought this is really, really practical. You know what I mean? It really works. So we're going to do a little bit of like artsy. So whenever the name comes in, we're going to do an artsy. Oh, I see also Kenny coming in. Thank you so much. So yes, we're going to do that today. And also I'm going to use a bronze gold Sharpie. Look how gorgeous this thing is, like metallic bronze gold Sharpie. So I'm thinking of doing like bronze gold. You know, a little something here. So we're going to do Terry. You know, and I'm going to do like, you know, we're going to, you know, there she is. And Kenny as well.
Teresa McGuire tipped $10. From Kenny.
You know, we're going to do like all of these like special, you know. There's Kenny. Ooh, this is so fun. Love it. And then like you can see it while I'm using the fan. Isn't that fabulous? Live in Ferret. Oh, Siobhan says, yeah, the backgrounds lately with the pastels and the pops of brights are awesome. Thank you, guys. Yeah, very summery. Stephanie says, love today's background. Minty fresh. Yes, you know, we need a little reset from time to time. You know. Also because, well, let's just leave it at that. Oh, thank you. Who cares? Thank you so much.
Who cares tipped $5.
Who cares? Fabulous. How's it going, everybody? Like how there is enough room for a doodle. Yes, there is. Two sides, actually. So we can doodle, doodle, doodle. Such a cozy Sunday summer evening. Chicken nugget. Oh, man, I want a chicken nugget now. That floor with the flowers. And the stand. Oh, this one you mean? Which we notice it's kind of the same color as the little Chanel mirror, isn't it? Kind of the same hue. And then we have like more seating opportunities in the back. You can go all the way to the back. I think there's a little bar in the background, you know, where we can have a little drink. Hi, Zeitgeist. Love the word doodle. Yeah, it's a good one. So anyway, how's everybody doing? It's been one heck of a week. I was supposed to stream yesterday, but then life got in the way. And so we're streaming today. But The topics are still there waiting for us. So, of course, we're going to talk about it just like that. Season 3, episode 11. We got to review that. We have some Chanel news, some fashion news, luxury bag news, as always. We do have some Madonna news, some JLo news. She is still that JLo from the block. And, we'll talk about it. I have my Diet Coke with me, but I also have my coffee. Mm. And oh my gosh, okay, so we're going to also have an after show today. So there's 2 live streams today. Today's after show is going to be for Tier 2 members and Tier 2 patrons. It is a Tier 2 member and Tier 2 patron exclusive. So you got a couple of hours time to join us, become a Tier 2 member, a Tier 2 patron. And you can get to see a very special after show. I am so excited, you guys, because I'm not going to show you what, because obviously it's in a box, but you guys, YouTube finally sent me something. We're going to unbox it in the after show. I got a little something from YouTube. So thank you, YouTube, so much. This is so exciting. This is going to be an after show exclusive, though, because I want all my members and patrons to find out first, because this is like so cool. I'm so excited. So shh, what happens in the after show stays in the after show. So thank you, YouTube, so much. I'm saying it already ahead of time, and then we're going to unbox it in the after show. So yes, YouTube has been nice again. Very kind lately. And I'm so excited. Like they never send anything. And this was... It's a good one. There you go. So there's that. And then we're also going to talk about some aesthetical choices, some drama as well in the after show. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for becoming a Tier 2 member. Who cares? Thank you. Hi, Music Girl. How's it going? Kelly Carrick. I'm excited to hear what you got. Well, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Oh, Terry, yeah, I read that something happened. Like you were like you kind of, for some reason, unjoined Tier 2 member, but now you kind of fixed it. I don't know what happened. Something happened. But yeah, I saw that you upgraded it again. Yeah. So anyway, what did I want to say? I forgot it. Oh, there was something I wanted to say about what happened throughout the week. Oh, yeah. One of the things, so I was starting to get kind of like a headache, and then Debbie was like, drink a coffee. So I did make myself a coffee. It did help a little bit. But I was like worried that it's not going to work, because the weather is shifting and changing. The air pressure here is like super low, plus the heat. I have been hydrating, but I thought to myself, I need an ibuprofen or something to just like, just to get through this, because usually when there's like a temperature shift or there's like a weather shift, my head immediately reacts to it. So I don't know what happened, but it happened, but it's okay. Now we're feeling better. We jumped into this. So yeah, yesterday live happened, right? So today we're streaming instead, which is fine. I mean, it's a Sunday. I know for some of you it's already Monday. I think, oh my gosh, actually for almost everybody. Europe, it's Monday. Australia, it's already Tuesday. Yes, Deborah, I am very well aware that ibuprofen is not good for my gut. Thank you for letting me know. But it's very effective against the pain. So you got to pick and choose your poison, as they say. Pick and choose your poison. Professional Boycott Services says JLo not Chanel material. Look, JLo is JLo. What are we gonna do? I mean, you know how it is. JLo has her moments in the sun. You know. she, you know. So we're gonna talk about. Actually, we could start the first topic. We could make it about JLo. Oh, Deborah says, sorry, just trying to extend the caring. No, no worries, babes. You know, you're not gonna see me sitting here crying about my health issues. So obviously. Or your throat. Kenny got severe ulcers in throat from ibuprofen. Oh, that's interesting. How is that happening? Ulcers in the throat. I have never heard of that. Wow. Okay, that's a whole other can of worms. Yeah, she does look great. JLo always looks great. What are you gonna do? The latest performance was something. Wait, you watched the performance in Turkey? Hmm. Okay. Fun, fun, fun. I have not seen that performance though, so I don't know. Okay. So, and you see, okay, this is why we don't do talks about health and medicine because there you go. It's like Google saying one little thing. It's like opening Google to Google. So you got a little itch on your arm. You open Google, and the next thing you know, it's over. It's over. You're about to kick the bucket. Tomorrow is it, guys. Okay. All right. Oh, really? Kelly Carrick says I saw a clip. It's a bit much. I did not see. All I saw was the outfit. One of the outfits. She apparently had 5 to 6 outfit changes. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about JLo and Chanel, baby. So let's do the first topic. And I have it here. And I think this one is... Why entertainment? Okay, got it. Well, what do you know? JLo and Chanel. As reported by Y Entertainment, JLo was in Turkey. Or I think in Turkey they say Turkiye. So hi to all my Turkish viewers. How's it going, everybody? So apparently she was in Istanbul. She was there to perform for some event, partially charities, or some film festival or something. And the lady went shopping, you know what I mean? So I guess, I don't know, like, I guess she brought her own budget with her. I mean, they're probably paying her to perform, but it's not like she has to wait for the check to clear from Turkey in order to go shopping. She has the money, right? So she went shopping, and apparently she went to Chanel in Istanbul. So everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. So this is really interesting because I saw the pictures. Now, most of them are, I think, Getty images, so we can't share them, blah, blah, blah. But like, she was dressed. Do you remember that scene? We've all seen it from the documentary when JLo went back to the Bronx and she wanted to go say hello, pay her respects to her block. And there was this guy in one of these houses that she allegedly used to live in, and they're filming JLo saying, "Hey, it's me. I used to live there in this house. It's me. It's your girl, JLo." And the guy's like, "Who are you?" She's like, "Jennifer." He's like, "Jennifer who?" It's like, "Jennifer Lopez." Like, what? I don't know you, girl. So anyway, she was not recognized. From her own block did not recognize her. Kelly Carrick says, yes, that was so funny. She was not recognized by her own people from her own blog. I guess that stuck with her. It was a trauma, right? So now I have a feeling whenever she goes shopping with an entourage, she goes shopping dressed in a certain way. I have a feeling like she wants to be recognized. And I can tell you this much, the photo that I've seen of Jennifer Lopez going shopping in Istanbul to Chanel, she was begging to be recognized, in my opinion. Like, she was dressed in a metallic pink, body tight, snatched suit with like pink sunglasses that are like alien futuristic. Like, she was like screaming, like, look at me. Look at me. It's your girl, Jenny from the block in Turkey, okay? And so she goes to Chanel, right? Dressed like you can see her a freaking gazillion miles away, okay? Screaming, you know, like, it's Jenny from the block. the Turkish guys at the security at Chanel took one look at her and they're like, sorry, you can't come in here because like we have too many people in here. It is just not possible. First, I thought to myself, why is she going to Turkey? Because I thought to myself, are there any financial issues in Jenny's banking? Because, you know, if you want to get your teeth done, or teeth, as they say in England, you want to get the teeth done, or you want a hair transplant, a lot of people go to Turkey. If you're on a budget, you know, but then a lot of people, you know, they sedate you and then you come back home. Yeah, they redo your teeth, but you're missing a kidney when you come back home. We've heard stories, Turkey. What up, girl? What up? So, very dangerous. I thought to myself, oh my God, my homegirl is going to Turkey to get her teeth done. Is she going to come back without a kidney? Jenny, what are you doing? Don't do it. Don't do it. So anyways, so there I was worrying. Of course, we're worried that Jenny's going to lose a kidney. But no, apparently she was there to perform and to do a little shopping at Chanel, except they didn't let her in. So it also would appear that she was like, you know what? It's okay. You don't have to let me in. We go, we go. So she left without causing a scene, allegedly. And then she went shopping elsewhere and apparently dropped a pretty penny. Like we're talking tens of thousands. Somebody even mentions hundreds of thousands. I don't know if I would push it that far. Probably in the tens of thousands of dollars were spent shopping that afternoon. And then, not that she pulled, pretty woman moment, like when Pretty Woman comes back, when Julia Roberts goes back to the store with all the shopping bags and says, huge mistake, big mistake, huge. Jenny did that in her own special, sophisticated way. So the security at Chanel didn't recognize her like the old dude didn't recognize her at her own block in the Bronx. So I guess her trauma, she relived the trauma again, this time at Chanel in Turkey. But then once the staff at Chanel realized, because as she went to the other luxury boutiques, the staff recognized her. People started posting images. People started posting on social media like, look, Jenny from the block is here in Istanbul. And so the staff at Chanel catches wind that they actually didn't let Jenny come in. They lost a ton of sales. So now she's spending all her money at, I don't know, other brands, you know, like Louis Vuitton, Dior, what have you. Chanel then tries to rectify the mistake, and they try to contact her team to say, and I think they posted something on social media, whatever, and they're like, hey, we're so sorry that you were not let in. Like, we can offer you like a special treatment. You can, I don't know, you know, stuff like VIP, like we can close the whole stout just for you. And so sorry, so sorry, so sorry. So then she pulls a Pretty Woman on them, you know, graciously saying like, oh, thank you so much, but sorry, you know, I went shopping elsewhere now, but thank you. So could you imagine? Then a couple of hours later, she goes to perform. I hear from my viewers that the performance was something else. Some people are talking about all the costume changes. She shopped. Chanel did not recognize her. She didn't really care. She had her little revenge moment by saying, yeah, now it's too late, Chanel. Way little, too late. Too little, too late. I'm not going to go shopping with y'all. Thank you so much. Bye. Now, here's the thing. You remember that Oprah Winfrey was also, well, different story. When she was in Italy shopping, they did let her into Louis Vuitton, but they didn't want to sell her a certain bag because they profiled her and they were like, sorry, this, you can't afford that, you know. And then that was cleared up. That was a whole scandal, you guys remember, right? They didn't kind of pull that type of thing with Jenny, JLo. But what would you do if Chanel is full? I mean, I don't think that the security staff told her, like, you cannot come in, period. They probably told her, you cannot come in now. If the store is full, they're going to tell you the store is too full now. Do you have an appointment? You don't? Okay. People who have appointment have priority. If you don't have an appointment, we can't let you in, but you're going to have to wait 40, 50 minutes or, however long it takes. Stand in line, just like every other mere mortal, and we can let you in when it's your turn. So I think that probably the staff told her something like that, and then she was like, no, I'm not going to wait. Which honestly, I also wouldn't wait, like who cares? You know what I mean? She has other opportunities to go to Chanel elsewhere. So I get it. I wouldn't be angry either. But I'm kind of surprised that they didn't recognize her. I mean, she was colorful in that metallic pink bodysuit with the sunglasses and all. I mean, unless they didn't think that she's, one of those people that came to Turkey to get their teeth done. And then they thought, oh, okay, we've seen these a gazillion times. But I don't know. I mean, who knows what they thought? At least she did not pull an angry Bethany Frankel video on TikTok because Chanel did not let her in. You know what I mean? You remember Bethany pulled that shtick a couple of months ago. Professional Boycott Services says the security guard did a great job. There you go. Well, I mean, what would you do? Would you wait in line to go in, or would you say, you know what, thanks, Chanel, see ya, don't want to be ya? Also, don't forget, just a couple of days ago, Chanel had yet another price increase. So not only, are you waiting in line 50 minutes to get in, if you're lucky, but you get in and they're like, hi, welcome to Chanel. Here's a 10% price increase for ya. You're welcome. So what would you do? I don't know. Let me know down below. Subscribe, thumb up this video. And good luck, Jenny. I hope one day somebody finally recognizes you, because I think it's really important to you. Allegedly. Bye. Maybe they thought she didn't have a kidney. Hasn't she grown out of costume dressing during the day? I mean, I have here a picture, but like I said, if you Google it, you can see it, but it's from Getty Images, so you can't really show that stuff, So yeah, what can I tell you? It's an outfit that you cannot overlook. It's so flashy. I mean, I've rarely seen her that flashy. You know what I mean? Very flashy. So, I mean, come on, like I would have recognized her. Yeah, I would have recognized. I mean, maybe I wouldn't have immediately recognized her as Jennifer Lopez. But I would have definitely recognized, like she has something. I would look at her, be like, she's somebody. She's somebody in the entertainment industry. You know what I mean? Like, and then I would have put two and two together. At a certain point, I would be like, oh, okay, okay. Anyway, they didn't recognize. What can I tell you? Madison Ray, how's it going? I mean, Chanel has to follow protocol, and she probably didn't give advance notice to be there. That's a possibility. Who knows? Zeitgeist says the privilege that celebrities get is so annoying. Once Chanel realized their mistake, they were willing to close the store just for her. Honey, let me tell you, money. It's a cruel and bitter thing, People. You remember when Jennifer tried to sing that song? Oh my God. That happened like, a year ago or so. When people have money, sometimes money doesn't ruin a person, but sometimes some people with money, oh boy, they're going to start behaving like they're better than anything and anybody. They're going to lose touch with reality. So that doesn't, in my opinion, only apply to people. It also applies to brands. Look, see it this way. Chanel, for the longest time during Karl Lagerfeld and right before the lockdowns and during the lockdowns, Chanel was untouchable. Chanel could do no wrong. Everything they made would sell out. They were at the top of the world. Their price increases, nobody cared. After every price increase, people would still keep on buying more and more and more. So Chanel really, I feel like that company really started feeling some type of way. They got so much money pouring in. People were literally by the shovels throwing money at them. So they started feeling some type of way. Now the tides have turned, Chanel isn't making the same profit they used to. They're not, they're not that exceptional brand that everybody unconditionally loved. They could do no wrong, things have changed, but they still behave like they are. So there's a little bit of friction going on there, and there's like adjustment is needed. Like they need to kind of like, hold on, like they have to figure out, oh, okay, yeah, maybe we got to humble ourselves a little bit, because you got to see it this way. If you have a lot of money, you could really become arrogant and think that, oh, because I spend a lot of money here, they have to roll out the red carpet for me every time. And you start acting elitist and snobby. This is the most disgusting type of person. I cannot stand them. But it's usually that type of person, that same type of person who's used to getting that red carpet rolled out for them, loses touch and thinks that everybody's inferior to them. But it's that same idiot who forgets that there's always going to be somebody else who is richer than you, who has more money than you, who has more money to burn and spend than you, but who is behaving nicer than you, who is not demanding red carpets being rolled out for them. So there's that, there's that. And a lot of people tend to forget there's always somebody higher than them. But they just kind of tend to act like, no, they are at the top, at the pinnacle. No, you're not, bitch. And no, you're not. So there you go. Not in Vogue says, I'm Puerto Rican, mix, and never understood the hype around JLo, and I didn't even believe she's really Puerto Rican. Wait. Is she not Puerto Rican? Madison Reyes Morente says, I'm Mexican Latin. I know way more Mexicans named Lopez, never a Puerto Rican named Lopez, LOL. Are you saying that maybe it's an artist name? Like she's, like that's an art name and not her real birth name? Is that what you guys are saying? Because I have no clue. I just thought, I don't know. I just thought that's her name. Oh, not in Vogue, definitely. You cannot buy class and decorum. Gustavo says, I love her appearance on Will and Grace. I imagine she is as out of touch with reality as she appears on the show. Well, she was apparently very kind as she was denied entrance to Chanel. She didn't throw a hissy fit, She's not just some random bimbo on social media throwing a hissy fit because they didn't let them into Chanel. IYK. You know what I mean. You gotta read between the lines, people. You gotta read between the lines. Such a pip. Her team and her, they must be working on her likability because she did not throw a tantrum. She did not throw a hissy fit, But also, hi, Sophia. So that Will and Grace episode is iconic. You see how everything is connected, everything is holistic, because who else was on Will and Grace that we are going to talk about today because they are also in the thumbnail? Tina Ripnorm. Lopez is a common last name in Puerto Rico. Well, there you go. There you go. Well, I have no clue. So you guys teach me because I don't know if it's a common name or not. So Tina says it is a common name. Madison says it's not a common name. Kev says Liz. Zeitgeist. Mi gente Latina. Not Latino, but anyway. Madonna. That's right, Madison. We're going to talk about Madonna. Everything is holistic. Madonna was also in Will and Grace. And things have been said about Madonna being in Will and Grace. Some of the main actors from Will and Grace said that she was not very kind during the shooting of the show, of that episode. She was in one episode. So they spent like 1 week shooting an episode, right? So apparently she was acting like, she owns the, Madonna. I mean, it wouldn't be Madonna without her being Madonna, right? So, but anyway, apparently they put her in her place at a certain point. Who knows? But not many extremely enthusiastically kind words were spared about the actor's experiences working with Madonna on set of Will and Grace for an entire week. All those videos are on YouTube, by the way. You can check those out. But anyway, Madonna, right? So that's that segues into our next topic with Madge and indirectly, right? Okay, let's film it. Well, 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 this is an interesting story. How can we connect Madonna, Shein, and Atlanta? I think Atlanta, right? Yeah. How can we connect these three cardinal sins into one? Well, let's get to it. First, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thumb up this video. Let's get to 100K subbies. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's a legend, just my opinion. So guess what, you guys? Shein just opened their first material, physical, in-person shop in Atlanta. You know, like H&M, Zara. Now you can go to Shein in Atlanta. Well, guess what? For the opening ceremony of Shein, apparently people were going ballistic. I have seen videos on social media of people queuing up to go shopping at Shein. We're talking not around the block. We're talking blocks and blocks and blocks. We're talking people around, like they're outside of the entrance of the store, around the building, across the street, around the other building, across the street, another block down. Like they were waiting in line, okay, for hours. Zyka's like, why Atlanta though? Well, now Kelly Carrick says, wow, Madonna has a place to shop. Yeah, it's all connected. You know, in the fashion bunker, everything is holistic. Everything is connected. Everything happens for a reason. So why are we talking about Madonna, Shein, and Atlanta? There's a reason. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. So people are waiting in line. As they finally inaugurated the Shein store, the boutique, they opened the doors. People started walking in, those poor workers. You guys, I don't know. So basically, the sales staff was told that they have to learn a choreography. And there was music and drums playing at the inauguration ceremony when they opened the doors and people started running in. It felt like Black Friday. I mean, when people rush into, you know, Best Buy and shops, just like they push each other to the side to get the best deals. People were pushing and shoving while on the both sides of the inside of the building, of the store, the staff was like choreographing, like, you know, they were like dancing and to the beat of the drum. People were coming. I'm like, what the heck is this? People rushed in. They plundered the place. Apparently, I mean, the videos that I saw was like, okay, it's like, it looked like Zara or H&M. I mean, it was, you know what I mean? Shein, don't forget, okay? Like, we're not talking, you know what I mean? Well, apparently, how is Madonna connected to this? At first I thought, is Madonna selling her stuff at Shein? No. No, it's a little bit more sad than that, although that would be sad too. So, Madonna for her last tour, which was the what was it, the Celebration tour? She had several artists, sketch artists and artists work with her and for her, you know, sketching out her costumes for the performances that she was delivering for her world tour. Some of those sketches were also used as prints for merch, t-shirts. And one of those artists, whose name is Teodoro, on Insta, Justin Teodoro, or Justin Teodoro, I'm saying it in the Italian way, so Justin Teodoro, who has an Instagram account, just a couple of days ago came out to say that he feels violated because it has come to his attention that his sketches that he made for Madonna, hired by her team to work for her during the period of the celebration tour, those sketches that he made of Madonna have now magically appeared on Shein. And Shein is selling his artwork without his permission. They haven't asked his permission, allegedly, and they just are selling his artwork. Not only are they selling his artwork, and I think we have a picture, not only are they selling his artwork without his permission, but they also didn't even care to take away his signature. So here, this is Justin Teodoro or Justin Teodoro on Instagram. Go send him some love. I hate when this happens, so this is why I'm raising awareness about this on my platform as well, because he was also posting about it. So this is Shein. He took this screenshot and he shared this. He posted this on his Instagram, and he said this is his artwork of Madonna, and this is from the Confessions album. This is the hung up cover, right? And they're selling it. And then if you scroll through the pictures that he posted, right here next to her leg, next to her foot, that's his signature. They did not even bother to retouch his signature away. So like he has even more proof that it's his artwork. And he is just appalled, justly so, because Shein just like ripped him off, like 1-to-1, didn't even bother to take off his signature. And they're selling it. They're selling his artwork, and he's not getting any proceeds from the sales. Yet Madonna's not getting any proceeds. I mean, this is her likeness after all. You know, he had a deal with Madonna's team to make sketches and drawings for Madonna, for her merch. So technically, you know, they're also ripping Madonna off because she could also be profiting off of this. And he's super upset because obviously, you know, it's like not like Shein is like responding. You know, they're like, oh, so sorry, we're taking it down. I don't think they ponder many thoughts when it comes to this. So it's kind of very, very iffy. He does not mention in his post whether or not Madonna's legal team will be stepping in. I hope Madonna's legal team does step in. I don't know if Madonna cares about all of this. Usually she's very quick when somebody's ripping her music off. But when it comes to stuff like this, I don't know if she's going to step in and help Justin to get a good lawyer, to get this taken care of, or if she doesn't care. I don't know. I really don't know. He didn't say it as of now, as when I'm filming. Maybe in the future he will add a new post, and maybe in the future he will describe like how this ongoing situation is continuing and whether or not Madonna stepped in to help. But I mean, I don't know, you know, I mean, I can't tell you what I would do if I were Madonna, but I mean, she does have the means necessary to help Justin out, you know, to clear this up, because this is not cool, you guys. This is his own art, you know. It's not like this is AI generated, push a button, type in a prompt and things come out. Like he sketches this stuff out, scans it, and then, you know, creates artwork out of it. Like this is his art. So, yeah. Robbie says, great drawing. I have the album. I have the album too, by the way. Of course, Confessions on a Dance Floor. Are you kidding me? I even have the limited edition when it came out. Akulu says, happy to say I never bought from Temu or Shein. China doesn't respect copyright. Shein is a Chinese company, so there you go. There you go. Saikai says, oh, I thought it was a collaboration between Madonna and Shein. It was, you see? That's the problem. Innocent people, potential customers like you, they get cheated, you know, scammed into believing, oh, it's a collaboration between Madonna and Shein. No, because the artist, Justin Teodoro, who made the sketch, is claiming on his Instagram account that this is not an endorsed collaboration. He did not give his permission. This was apparently stolen. Now, your comment leads me to believe, what if Madonna's team allowed this and they didn't ask Justin for his permission? Now that opens up a whole new can of worms. Allegedly, of course. I wonder, maybe she owns the rights to all the sketches he made for her during the time that he worked for her, and so hence if she does own the rights, she can just sell them however she wants. But then if she did own the rights, wouldn't he know? He would be the one who signed the contract with her and signed his rights off to her, so he would not be throwing a tantrum about Shein selling the stuff. Oh, the plot thickens. I think we have to investigate a little bit deeper. Because what do we know? He has to find out because obviously he has a problem with this. Madison says, that is what I'm wondering. How did Shein get a hold of this? Well, I can tell you this much. For my merch that I designed myself with my team for Halloween or the holiday season, I was selling t-shirts with my prints on Amazon and on another platform. Within 2 weeks of me posting like the sale, I had companies stealing my visuals and they would sell the t-shirts with my prints on them. And you might ask yourself, how did they get those prints? They got them just like if he posted a photo of this online, they just kind of take that photo, they save the JPEG, the PNG, the TIFF, the PDF, whatever, and then they just print that on a t-shirt. It's lower resolution because, of course, I upload to Amazon the high res file for them to make the t-shirts if you order my merch, right? So if somebody steals that design of mine, they can only take the photo off of Amazon's website that is publicly visible. They can't get access to the big full-sized file of my design, but they can get the low-res file off of the Amazon public platform, and then they use that low-res file to print on t-shirts. You know what I mean? So, and if you do order from these other companies, you will get, like the merch with my design, but in lower resolution, like pixelated or something. So that's what they do. So if this picture was available anywhere online, anybody could have ripped it. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Says leaving the signature is crazy. That's also what he said. He's like, oh my God, they didn't even like bother to take a minute to scrub the signature off. Kelly says Shein steals a lot of designs from even small brands that can't afford to sue Shein, allegedly. Well, so, now that they have a store in the US, now that they have a physical store in Atlanta in the US, you can sue them. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think about the situation? And I hope Justin Teodoro gets this resolved as soon as possible to his liking and satisfaction. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, thumb up the video. Let's get to 100K. Never give up on love. Bye. What do you know? What do you know? Watermarks are valuable, yeah. But you guys, I mean, it's a mess. I guess their designers just surf Pinterest and take whatever they like without investigating whose it is by copyright. Ah, Deborah C, thank you so much. Deborah C sent 5 Super Dacob gift memberships. Thank you, Deborah C. Y received a gift membership by Deborah C. Lena G received a membership by Deborah C. Jennifer Thompson received a gift membership by Deborah C. I'm Blessed received a gift membership by Deborah C. Anna Christina received a membership by Deborah C. Thank you so much, Deborah C, for gifting 5 Super Dacob memberships, and welcome to all the new Tier 1 members. Start using your emojis. And hi, Tracy B. Welcome to Tier 1. Thank you for becoming a member. So what was I saying? Oh, so Tara Tame, this is a good point. Okay, Madison, for watermarks, you can't, yeah, that's difficult because you can't post watermarks everywhere. Just saying. Tara says, I guess their design, it's complicated, but I guess their designers just surf Pinterest and take whatever they like without investigating whose copyright it is. So what I believe is going on in the past, yes, they had people, hired people who just look through, find inspiring designs and just steal them. But what I think is happening now, I think they have like AI bots, or just not even AI, just bots scavenging the internet, finding anything that would fit the prompt that the team in the internal team gave the bots, and whatever they find that fits the description that they're looking for, they'll snatch it and they'll bring it back to the design internal team, whatever, and then they would automatically generate fashion out of that. So I think what I'm trying to say here is that I think that this process is way more scary than you guys think. I think it's way more automated. It's way more automated than one would think. You know what I'm saying? Like things are, like technology is like advancing so fast that we're getting to a point where less and less humans are needed and more of these mistakes will happen. And yeah, I'm calling it a mistake because, you got to prove malicious intent. I mean, legally they're wrong, right? It all depends how much he protected his copyright and stuff. But yeah. Hi, Andy. Andrea Myers in the house. How's it going, sweetie? Good evening. Madison says, this is T and I'm learning about all this. Yeah. So basically, you can't always put that watermark on everything. Somehow, something leaks at a certain point. But also if you put a watermark on, now you also have AI programs that can just clean the watermark right off. They can retouch it away. You can retouch a watermark away from a picture. You'd be surprised. It's crazy. So we got 200 people watching, 94 likes. We are lazy on the likes today. Thumb up the live stream, you guys. Because we'll go. Because we'll go. While you're thumbing up the live stream, I have another topic to share with you about luxury theft in gay old Paris. Madison says, this is T, and I'm learning. I sorry, read that one already. And it'll get worse as Zeitgeist. Yeah, I agree. And Zara got caught doing it too, says it is, isn't it? Yes, they got caught doing it. And on my channel, we shot a couple of videos about this. Like, in particular, artists and designers who, I think we did 2 or 3 videos on my channel in the past years. Designers who were, what you might call it, designers who were, I want to say entering a legal battle with Zara, but they were posting the picture saying, look, this is my design. This is what Zara did. Zara didn't ask for my permission. And then we were talking about this years ago, and there was one instance where Zara apparently allegedly responded and said, hey, we don't care. You're a small content creator. What are you going to do? Because the owner of Zara, up until Bernard Arnault surpassed him, he was like the richest man of Europe, because Zara is a European Spanish company. And so, they basically believe that if you're a very small designer, you can never win against them, right? They're this huge corporation that can just do legal battles for as long as they want to, and your assets are going to run dry before you get any results in court. So it's a little bit tricky, and the system is just built wrong because you don't stand a chance, The system is built for who's powerful to maintain power, and it's not built to protect the fragile people. It's not really built to protect the vulnerable. It should be built to protect the vulnerable, but it's not. It's built to protect who can protect themselves already. It's built in a way so that who can afford to protect themselves can protect themselves, basically. And who cannot afford to protect themselves loses automatically. It's really bad. Really, really bad. So there you go. Oh, Akulu is missing Gilded Age for Dacob. And Shaban says, I'm having a hard time getting into this season. Really? There's only one more episode to go. Madison says, I remember one time Kylie and Kendall got more hate because they took banned t-shirts and digitally added their faces to it and sold them. Ooh. Yeah, that's a bit iffy too. Yeah. Yeah. The owner of Popflex talked about it in her YouTube channel because Nordstrom wanted to not talk about and sign an NDA. Ooh. Wait, Popflex, did we talk about this? This was a couple of months ago. Was it last year? I studied copyright for music business in college. If you have registered it, you have a good case, period. Mm, I don't think that these sketch artists look because every single doodle that you do, you would have to copyright and register. Forget it. They don't do that. They can't afford to do that. Like you can't register every single drawing you make, every single sketch you make. You forget it. That's not how art, how painting and drawing works. It just isn't. For music, it's a different story, because also when you're doing music, it's not just the artist who did the music, but it's the writer of the music. It's the distributor of the music that steps in and owns the rights to the music as well. It's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. And these small artists, sketch artists, they don't have managers. They don't have a big business behind them. You get a big business behind yourself when you're already really rich and you've made it. But until you've made it, you get ripped off a gazillion times before you make it, Before you have come to the point where you are really established and rich and can afford a whole team working for you and with you, until you make your way up there, you will be ravaged over and over and over again, and that not for nothing. One of the biggest things that they always say, like the people who have been in the show business, entertainment business, art business for a long time, they're all going to tell you, you're going to have it less difficult and you're going to stand maybe a tiny chance to succeed in this unjust art, music, entertainment world. The sooner you accept the fact that it is not just, that it is not fair, that the business is not fair, the sooner you accept that, and the sooner you're going to stand a chance of actually making it in this business. It's that hardcore, but it's also that simple. And once you embrace that mentality, which is really bad, but that's the only way to go forward without corroding your own liver from just the bitterness of constantly being tricked, constantly being scammed, constantly being duped into doing something you don't want to do, or somebody, taking your rights away from you for whatever reason. And like the second you realize your path towards greatness in the entertainment world is paved with a lot of scammery and abuse. And so this is something that you gotta really be aware of. It is a very, very, very challenging business at the end of the day, the art business. So there you go. And exactly, that's also true. All they got to do is change one line in the drawing and they can call it. Yeah. I think 20 or something percent has to be changed. Yeah. So same with the business manager. You're saying, yeah, guys, yeah, you get a good business manager. They can handle the admin section, including your copyright. Sure. You know how many business managers out there are the biggest scammers? You know how many artists get scammed by business managers who are out there to like, I'm telling you guys, it's so dangerous. So dangerous. As an artist, you have to navigate waters filled with sharks. And it's really hard to find people you can trust. They take away your rights. Shout out to Glam Baby Doll. I love Glam Baby Doll. Hi, Ty. Oh man, I missed you. Girl, where have you been? Tyler has not been showing up in the chats for a long time. I'm glad to see you. Literally going through a false copyright claim on my band's music at the moment. Such a headache. I'm so glad you're with us, Ty. And this is why I'm telling you guys, like, not only do I have on YouTube acquaintances and YouTube friends that I know, like Tyler is a wonderful musician, by the way, um, that are going through it, but also in real life. Also, myself, I've been dealing with this in the past. And the injustice, I have dealt with gallerists who ripped me off. I have dealt with publicists who ripped the bejesus out of me. I have dealt with curators who were so dodgy, and ripped off. Managers who I have not worked with, but that have proposed contracts to me that were preposterous, where I was like, look, I'd rather do this on my own because if I join forces with you, you're just going to rip me off and I'll be your slave for the rest of eternity. Distributors that wanted to rip me off, distributors that have come knocking asking to become official distributors of my Vivian Westwood movie with Patrick J. Thomas, Art Lovers Unite, with super shady contracts with like hidden clauses that would, had I signed off, they would have ripped you off. Like, for example, distributors can play these shady games of saying that they will only pay you whatever is left after they have taken the money back from whatever they invested in your product to sell and promote your product. But here's where they get you, because to sell and promote, like in my case, it would be the distribution of the movie through digital forms or whatever. So let's say DVD, Blu-ray, and they could just come to you after a year. You're like, okay, where's my money? You've been distributing my movie now for 1 year. Where's my check? They put no limit in the contract as to how much money they can spend to promote your movie. So basically, they come back to you after 1 year and they tell you, well, we spent more to promote your movie than we earned selling it. So you owe us money. And you're like, what? It's so shady. And they can lie, because they don't represent just one movie. They represent several movies. And so they can be very shady about their budgeting for promoting your movie. They could be also promoting other 3 movies at the same time and just kind of shifting that budget and say that it encompasses your movie mostly, when in reality, maybe they just printed out one poster for your movie that they kind of carried with themselves to a film festival like Cannes to try to shop your movie around. And then because they printed out that one poster, hung it on their stand together with the other 50 movies that they represent, they're going to come to you next year and say, yeah, we spent like $50,000 promoting your movie, when in reality they didn't. It is so shady. So you end up with no money, but you got to give them exclusive rights to the distribution of your movie, meaning that you don't have the right to distribute your own movie anymore. So they just keep milking you and getting all that money, and they're not paying you a dime. And they keep their full portion of their earnings, right? It's so shady. The business is so shady. Tyler says, would love to have a copy of Art Lovers Unite. Hope things iron out. They will iron out, Tyler. Yeah. And we are going to have a premiere in Los Angeles. It's just that we're financing it ourselves. And that's what takes the time it takes, because Los Angeles is also not very friendly when it comes to indie projects. Los Angeles is great if you're Warner Brothers, if you're HBO, if you're Netflix. They own this place, you know what I mean? Good for them. But they have the money to like pay for everything, Like if you're indie and you want to premiere your movie at a cinema, it's not like that cinema says, oh, you're an indie artist, so we're going to go a little bit easy on you. No, they will charge you the price they charge Warner Brothers. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, yeah, sure, here, one night, $50,000. You're like, what the hell, dude? What $50,000? So it's not easy to find a cinema that understands the difference between indie production and a huge, massive global production of a movie. So then you gotta, pay for all the insurances, and they all charge you like you're a big production, and so it's insanity. Akulu says, oh my God, LA is not my city, but I'd love to fly out and meet you, Dacob, and see the movie. Yeah, the movie is amazing. Okay. Not that we did it and it's amazing, but it's the last kind of filmed movie with Vivian Westwood still alive. And she has some wonderful things to say. And there's a lot to learn from her as a human being in that movie. So it's really nice. But we, Patrick and I, we really want to show this movie analog, like in a cinema, with other people together as a community, because it is different. It's a special type of energy to join forces and experience something together rather than being home alone, turning on the TV and just, watching it. And Vivian loved the cinema. She loved the movies. She secretly wanted to be an actress, I believe. There's a lot of people who are very close to her who would always tell me, Dacob, she loved the movies. She wanted to be an actress. She loved to act even. So, giving this to her, bringing her on to the big screen in LA, it's also kind of a gift to her, just on a very emotional level, And also supporting women and loving women is really, really important to me. And she was one heck of a lady, I can tell you that. So this is why we are not streaming the movie. This is why we want to bring the movie to cinemas. There you go. So you can expect full support of the Bunker Crew. Thank you, Stephanie. Whenever the U.S. premiere comes together, thank you, guys. I will let you know as soon as we know. Yeah. Terry says, I saw a clip with Vivian Westwood when she was young outside her shop in London that was called Sex. Yes. So, which is now World's End. She was so beautiful. That shop, basically back in the 70s, with every new collection they would make, the shop would change name. And the last iteration of the name was World's End. And that's when she broke up with Malcolm McLaren. And so the shop stopped evolving, like time stopped. So they stopped changing name from that moment on, and it remained World's End. Coincidentally, that was also the time when they made the 13-hour clock that ticked backwards. And I'm like, everything is holistic. They didn't know, but it's as if subconsciously they knew that the moment they broke up and everything fell apart in their relationship was the moment when the clock was set up to represent World's End, where kind of time ends and the world stops and the clock is running backwards the whole time. It's like trying to fight time. Man, I'm getting goosebumps and it's there. It's still there. If you go to King's Road in London, it's still there. The clock is there. The store is there. And it's still ticking backwards. Zeitgeist asked, just curious, do you think Vivian and Coco would have gotten along if they had met? So I did ask Vivian before we started filming. Hi, Gloria Recinos, empanada. How's it going? Empanadas y abrazos. Hola, ¿qué tal? So I asked Vivian, like, so what do you think about Coco? She did not want to say much. She's like, yes, I know who she is. Like, I know you know. I mean, I presume you know. She's like, yeah, Look, in my opinion, Coco was the punk of her time. Coco did what she could do in the times she lived in, I always say, had Coco Chanel lived, if Coco Chanel were like a young woman in the 1970s and 1980s, she would have been punk. So I believe they have more in common than the two ladies think or would think. However, having said that, I have a sneaky suspicion they would not have gotten along together, Vivian and Coco. I think there would have been friction there because they're both women, extremely stubborn and extremely opinionated and very quick to judge, very quick to write you off. So very strong personalities that would have clashed like two titans. But, maybe, just maybe they would have been frenemies. Maybe they would have had some form of respect, but also like respect, but what should I call it? Respect and missing the word, not allies. The opposite of allies. When you compete, what's the word? Anyway, two strong personalities like that woman who makes clothes. Adversaries, yeah. It would be an adversary relationship, definitely. 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 Who knows if they would have worked it out on the remix? No, I don't think they would have done any collection together. Coco did not collaborate with people. I mean, she did with men, not with other women. She, women could work for her, okay? But Coco was not, very seldom would she let a woman in close to her. Misia was one, but they were also big frenemies. And she also, of course, if she felt that somebody was a competition to her, like Christian Dior, then she would say all the nastiest things about them. But she did have a lot of respect for Yves Saint Laurent. She did have criticism towards him as well. I mean, obviously, it was a competition because, if somebody else is making haute couture, then it's automatically competition against her. But she did respect him. She did have respectful words for him, for Yves Saint Laurent. So she did kind of respect his stuff. She did not respect Dior at all. And but she loved the male artists. She loved Picasso. She loved Jean Cocteau. She loved Salvador Dali. The musicians, the dancers. She loved Stravinsky. The poets. I mean, the painters, Baudelaire. I mean, look, it's with the women where things got a little bit iffy. Coco. What are you gonna do? She was that type of person. And she of course could not stand Elsa Schiaparelli. Like she could not stand her. Like she couldn't stand her. Actually, they couldn't stand each other because Elsa was also not a fan of Coco, Now, if I have to choose between the two, it's Coco every day, all day for me. Coco came from nothing. Elsa is a Nepo baby. So easy choice for me. Hi, Joy Love C. How's it going? So anyway, let's talk about Chanel. Love when you talk about Coco. Thank you, Zeitgeist. Thank you. Yes, it's almost Coco's birthday, by the way. On the 19th of August is Coco's birthday. So her birthday is coming up in what, 2 weeks? 1.5 weeks? Wait, what? Okay, let's see how long this goes. Coco did give us modernity. Yeah, for sure. And lightness, like a certain lightness. Her stuff is so timeless. It's kind of light. Everything is comfortable and light. I'm just like really not looking forward to, what's his name? Blazy's first collection. But we're going to have to go through it, people. They're going to do it. We're going to see it. We're going to see what he has envisioned for Chanel. But I really feel like at the end of the day, the Chanel brand should be in the hands of a woman, a designer, with a bit of pep. You know what I mean? A bit of pep. I don't know. Zhuzh. Little zhuzh. I'm so excited to see the movie. You are a part of Dacob. Do you have a timeline for when the release might be? No. Hi, Mr. POTUS. I don't. I don't have a timeline. Oh my God, Tyler. Ugh, girl. I'm just happy it didn't end up being Jack the Moose. Man, oh man, when he came to LA to open up that travesty of a thing he calls a boutique, I was just like, everybody's like, oh my God, where's Jack Moose partying? I'm like, just follow the trail of shedding hair and you'll find him. Uh, the human carpet. No, I can't. Really. I would love to know as many as my partner and I would be interested in flying out for the premiere to support. Oh man, thank you so much. Look, I'll let you guys know. We're still a ways away. But when we know, of course I'll announce it officially on my channel as soon as I know, the dates. You can wear her originals forever. You really can. Yeah. Yeah. And, I would love to know oh, sorry about that one. So, yeah, whatever. Let's not bring that in. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about the scammery of Paris. There's a lot of money to be made. Paris hit with a lot of heists. Let's talk about it. Hi, everybody. Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today, we're talking about the end of luxury yet again. Fun. This time around, Paris is involved. The capital of haute couture, the capital of prêt-à-porter, the capital of everything fashion, really. Well, apparently, there's a lot of money to be made in Paris at the moment. But it's not money you would think is being made. Like, for example, this is a fashion channel. What are we talking about? A lot of luxury fashion brands are selling a lot of stuff. All of a sudden, tourists are flying in and buying all the luxury bags and clothes from all of these brands. And the brands are the ones making all the money. Yeah, no. The story is slightly different. As reported by The Guardian, the biggest money being made in Paris from fashion currently is by Thieves. And the article by The Guardian is entitled, "A Lot of Money to Be Made. Paris Hit with Spate of €1 million handbag heists." Police say ease of reselling, twinned with growing demand, has encouraged gangs to target luxury leather goods. And, there's one part of the article that I found very interesting, where they talk about how the criminality rate and how criminals focus, like what they focus on to make money the fastest, has changed in Paris and in France throughout the decades. And Pascal Carreau, the head of the organized crime unit of Paris's judicial police, said handbags were one of the last remaining high-value objects that gangs can target in Paris. That's interesting. Historically, before the explosion of drugs, French criminals, and particularly Parisian criminals, carried out armed robberies of banks, which in the 1970s had almost no protection at all. And you remember, if we go back into the history of movies and cinema, there are quite a few movies filmed in the 60s and 70s about bank heists, whether it be bank heists in the United States of America or European countries. French cinema, mostly back then still in black and white, did depict certain form of criminality, and we all can kind of remember having seen sooner or later in our lives a movie that was depicting in a very romanticized manner, like Bonnie and Clyde vibes, but set in the 70s, of robbers in fancy cars, rushing in front of a bank, jumping out, covering their faces, coming in and, with the guns and all, and then taking the money, and then the heist happens and they rush off. Everything is planned to the minimal detail. The editing of the movie is like super paced, and there's a chase scene involved. I mean, these movies were very popular, and they weren't just popular because the action sequences for the time were particularly interesting. They were popular because they were also mirroring what was happening in bigger cities in real time. So all of these bank heists were apparently, at least when it comes to Parisian criminality, all the rage back in the 70s. So, and they also claimed that the banks did not have the protection that they have nowadays. So it was also easier for these robbers to perpetrate said crimes against banks. But now, the article continues, with banks well secured and less cash in circulation, which if you think about is what the bank system always wanted. They always wanted a cashless system so that they can trace every bit of money flowing around, which is also what the government wants, but also to make it harder to steal the money. So they're going more and more digital. We're practically not using cash anymore. Everything is done by card, or you can have your entire banking system just uploaded to your smartwatch, Apple Watch, whatever it's called, and you just scan your wrist and payments go through. There's no more cash. So interesting how they want to get the money away from us, also because it's harder to money launder in luxury brand boutiques if you can't really use the cash. Now ask yourselves why certain brands kept upping their prices and would hush-hush under the table accept cash payments of hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's because it's money laundering. It's super easy. If they accept a cash payment, well, the person who is paying with the cash that they got from who knows where, the boutique would not question the provenance of said money. They would just take it, give you the item, and c'est la vie. Well, now, at least Europe is cracking down on this and is trying to limit the amount of cash that you can use to pay for luxury goods in one transaction. And this in order to prevent money laundering. So if you're purchasing something above a certain amount, I think 1,000 to 2,000 euro in Europe, you have to pay with card, or you need to have a proof of origin of the money. But before those laws were set in place, it was very easy to launder money in luxury boutiques. You just bring $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in, buy the luxury goods that you can then flip, resell, do something with it, but the money is gone. And in exchange, you get some goods for it that are luxurious that can be then utilized again, sold again. Clean money then comes in. Very fascinating. But now with banks well secured, the article reads, and less cash in circulation, patterns have changed. Mr. Pascal Caroux said, the teams of criminals who have not moved on to cybercrime are looking to target physical objects of value on the market. And all that is left are jewels or luxury leather goods. So now it's all about the jewelry and luxury leather goods, except here's the twist. The criminals are having a really hard time identifying authentic items as opposed to counterfeit items, because the counterfeit items are getting harder and harder to differentiate the good quality ones from the counterfeit items. So this is why in Paris, mostly in the central area of Paris, where the luxury boutiques are in, and that's where the crime mostly happens, because they see you exit the boutique with the shopping bag. They follow you around to try to figure out where you're going to, and then they snatch it from you, either from your hotel, from your home, or while you're on the street. Very few of these criminals take a risk trying to snatch away a luxury bag off of you if they have a feeling that you might be carrying a counterfeit, but they are much more sure of getting an authentic item if you just exited the luxury boutique with a brand new purchase inside of the shopping bag that you're carrying out of the luxury boutique. But it doesn't end there, because it's not just about these huge crime acts happening to innocent shoppers. This is also happening inside of the boutiques. And here's a couple of examples. In January, an employee carrying out a stock inventory in central Paris for LVMH, the conglomerate that owns Louis Vuitton and many other luxury brands, discovered 50 handbags by the label Loewe. Loewe also belongs to LVMH, worth about 100,000 euro, missing from the shop. Examination of CCTV footage showed 2 suspects had entered the building one night before Christmas and exited carrying 6 large sacks believed to contain the bags. Just a year ago, in 2024, a Chanel shop on Avenue Montaigne in central Paris was ram-raided by a car, and robbers escaped with bags worth between 500,000 euro and 1 million euro. In 2024, the home of an influencer who specialized in luxury handbags and posted photographs of herself posing with her bags in Paris locations was targeted by thieves who stole items including bags worth between 20,000 and 30,000 euro. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. I do believe that the influencer they're talking about is Tamara, allegedly. Earlier this year, they say Paris criminality returned to global headlines when a group of men who in 2016 robbed the US reality TV star Kim Kardashian over jewelry, and that happened in Paris as well, including a 3 million pound, 18.88 carat diamond engagement ring from her then husband Kanye West, were found guilty after a high-profile trial. But Mr. Caro said jewelry heists in Paris had dropped significantly to 1 or 2 each year because high-value jewelry pieces, which were often unique works of art, were hard to resell on the black market. He said luxury bags, on the other hand, were easier to sell on. The resale is happening on second-hand sales sites. Some of the bags are transported abroad and sold the same way across Europe, he said. Very interesting. This was fueled by the growing trend for acquiring luxury bags spreading across different levels of society and becoming much more commonplace, Caro said. 40 years ago, these bags were marginal. Now, the fashion for luxury is much more widespread. In other words, luxury has become mainstream. Luxury has become mass-produced. Luxury is no longer luxury. In other words, as per the police commissioner of Paris, and I agree. Partially to blame are the influencers and content creators who were pushing forth this agenda of like bag unboxing, another bag unboxing. They have ruined it for all of us. For all of us. Some of them are still ruining it for all of us because they're still making said content completely out of touch with reality and the world they're surrounded by, apparently. And in fact, he goes on to say this was fueled by the growing trend for acquiring luxury bags spreading across different levels of society and becoming much more commonplace. 40 years ago, it was less widespread. The first 6 months of 2025 showed a marked drop in crime in general in Paris. Compared with the previous year, armed robberies were down by more than 9%, burglaries by 15%, and theft of cars and motorbikes by 14%. But the crime rate for luxury bags has risen. Caro said raids on expensive handbags, boutiques, were not a daily occurrence in Paris, but they had a spectacular impact because sometimes videos by onlookers who witnessed events had circulated on social media. Lalonde, the appeals court expert, said a classic Chanel bag that was €5,000 in a boutique 5 years ago can now cost €10,000 in a boutique. So alongside those shop prices, the second-hand prices have also risen. There is a global demand from Beijing to Dubai, New York to Paris and London. Lalonde said bags were relatively easy to resell because they couldn't be traced as easily as watches or jewels. I beg to differ. Mostly because if you're talking about high-end luxury bags, like from brands like Dior, Chanel, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, they all have either chips inside of them or unique authenticity not product numbers, but authenticity serial numbers in them that are unique to that one specific bag. So, we always told you whenever you buy one of these luxury bags, photograph your authenticity code because it is unique just to your bag. In case it gets, heaven forbid, stolen one day, you can look and see if somebody's selling your bag by finding your code. Another problem, however, is once your code is out and about, counterfeiters can also copy that code and use it to make copies of the item. It's an endless loop, of misery, really, which is one of the reasons why I just slowed down my shopping tremendously. I love the bags I have, don't get me wrong. But I just, it's not worth it anymore. It's no fun. Everything seems to be a cramp. There's like no pleasure in any of this anymore. Buying bags, boxing them. I guess if somebody's brand new to the luxury game and doesn't have any luxury bag yet and wants to have a few, these are really terrible times to start a luxury bag collection because, just like the article also mentioned, a Chanel Timeless Classic Double Flap just a couple of years ago was $4,000. Now it's $12,000. So starting your collection now, buying new in boutique, is painful, to say the least. Also, what the article doesn't mention, in my humble opinion, and allegedly only, the quality of their leathers and materials has dropped drastically. So while you're paying $12,000 for a Timeless Classic Double Flap today out of caviar leather, that caviar leather is not the same quality, or that lambskin is not the same quality as the lambskin from 2015, 29 or whatever. It just isn't. But they're charging you much more for it. Okay, so, it's painful for somebody who's just beginning their journey today because the prices are outrageous. Right? But what are you going to do? People like me who have been in the game for decades now, I have the bags I want. I have my bags, the classic luxury bags at that level, they're always the same. They're not evolving. A Birkin is going to be a Birkin from here on out, okay? That's the shape of the Birkin. Here's my co-host. This is the one and done deal for me. I have my Birkin and you're done. I'm not the type of person who's going to be like, let me have another 50 Birkins and Kellys. No, I'll leave that to the desperate housewives or whatever. But I'm not that person. And so once you have that in your collection, you're done. You really are done because it's also ridiculous to see the prices go up exponentially from year to year, and there's no evolution in these luxury bags. It's not like we're talking about, wow, there's this great innovation happening. The Birkin from 1987 as opposed to the Birkin from 2024, which is the one I got, like, well, there's been a huge evolution. No, there hasn't. It's like the same freaking bag. So, but they're charging more for it, right? But there's like no added anything. And the only thing I can say is, at least when it comes to Hermes, they did not exponentially jump with their prices like other brands did, like Dior did, like Chanel did. Hermes kept it still to a certain degree. Their prices didn't go up as crazy as Chanel prices during the pandemic time and the lockdown years when everybody was shopping even more, which contributed even more to the situation we're in today where stuff is falling apart and luxury just doesn't feel like luxury anymore. But we have come to a point where, believe it or not, the machine-made, mostly machine-made, Chanel Timeless Classic Double Flap costs more than a Birkin. Both purchased, respectively, at the Chanel boutique and at the Hermes boutique. So, the Chanel price and the Hermes price compared to each other, turns out now the Chanel bag costs more than the Hermes bag, which it's just, it's delusional to the point of like, okay, I have no words. But in all of this, crime jumps in and thinks, oh, well, this is easy. This is easy. There's a lot of frail people, you know, who can't really fend for themselves physically on the street. You can just snatch it off them and run. And you get something, a bag, you know, that used to cost $2,000-3,000. Now it's $10,000 and you snatch it off a person and then you resell it. Dangerous times we're living in. Be very careful, people. And another negative factor contributing to this game of cards we're playing is the fact that a lot of viewers of luxury content are also extreme trolls and very ill-informed about content creators' actual finances and lives, and then they love to throw shade at you if you're not wearing a new pair of shoes every time they see you in a video, a new pair of pants, a new bag, a new unboxing every day. Like, how stupid can you be to throw shade at content creators who are actually trying to be more mindful of spending, more mindful to the environment, and more mindful towards their own viewers, not just trying to brainwash everybody into spending more and more and more, but to tell you to actually stop. Take a minute. Stop consuming for a second. That void you have inside of you, honey, you're not going to fill it by spending millions on leather bags. If you have that void, you have that void. And it's very visible that you have that void. Very visible. You're actually flashing it to your viewers on a daily basis. And that void, surprise, surprise, ain't gonna get filled if you keep stuffing it with luxury bags. Work on yourself. Get a good shrink. Get a good shrink. You know, do some real good psychotherapy. Maybe stop posting videos on social media, you know? It's embarrassing. Gets very cringe, but people just get out of touch with reality. They just start thinking, oh, well, me. No, the world doesn't revolve around you. Focus on what is positive in life. What is positive in life is being very clear. We are not living in times where overconsumption is something good. The fact that criminality rates have risen in this regard shows us very clearly that there's something wrong. So we have to stop it, dial it down, not be part of the problem, but try to help fix the problem. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thumb up the video, subscribe, and never give up on love. Bye. Don't they keep the bags the same due to heritage and continuity in that sense, at least? It's a little bit more complicated than that. It's not just to keep continuity. It's a very long conversation to be had. I'm not going to get into that right now, but there's like, we could have a whole other 3 hours just talking about this. Excellent video, Dacob. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you. I'll stick to Chanel perfumes. Not like I can buy a bag anyways inside, guys. Well, you never know, because with Chanel perfumes, their prices are going up constantly as well. I mean, look, the whole thing that they did with the discontinuation of the extraits of the Les Exclusives, they discontinued the 15 milliliter extraits, the ones for $300, so that you cannot buy them anymore. But you can order the 900 milliliter bottles for $20,000. They will make that for you. See what they're doing there? They're not making them accessible. They're turning some of their perfumes also into these luxury bags that are not for everybody. These are the times we're living in. Hi, Louie. How's it going? So there you go. That's that. Let's talk about it just like that next. Terry says, reminds me when somebody got the car broken into. Yeah. Yeah. Luna says, Dacob, babes, did you see the Anna Delvey bunny scandal? No, that sounds. Wait, what? Is that Anna Delvey? Is she still in America? Girl, if there's anybody who should have been, it's her. Is she still here? Okay, good to know. Wait, what's her bunny scandal? Reminds. No, I don't know about the bunny scandal. Hold on, should I Google it? Like, is it what? Did she eat her bunny? What I mean, what happened? Okay, let me Google. Anna Delvey bunny scandal. She's doing a photo shoot and they use bunnies as props and oh, she dropped the bunny? Anna Delvey. Okay, let me see. Anna Delvey. Okay, so I'm reading on Reddit here. Allegedly. Anna Delvey dumped rabbits from her Instagram photo shoot in Prospect Park. I need more evidence if possible. And I need more evidence if available. Somebody on Reddit posted. So she dumped rabbits from her Instagram photo shoot. Okay. So what does that mean, dumped? So she used rabbits in a photo shoot and then she let them free in the park? Oh, okay. Luna says not her, but the photographer, though. Okay, so the photographer brought bunny rabbits to the shoot, and after the photo shoot, they just let the rabbits go into the park, into the wilderness? Uh-huh, I see. Mm-hmm. So somebody on Reddit said, I need the help of the sleuth community for any proof we can use against this known criminal, they say.
I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you.
Last Monday, on August 4th, this person on Reddit claims that they helped rescue a bunny that was dumped in Prospect Park. That bunny is named Parker. He was saved by me, not by me, by the person writing this, and two others, and is now safely being fostered. 3 days later, on Thursday, we were notified of another dumped rabbit in Prospect Park. We also saved this bunny and arranged for a foster. On Saturday, I realized after looking at the photo shoot posted on Anna Delvey's Instagram page and her pinned stories that the bunnies that were dumped in Prospect Park were the ones I helped rescue. I also received another report of a dumped bunny that suspiciously looks like the third rabbit in her pinned stories post. Additionally, you can plainly see she tranced the bunny in the video, proving they know nothing about handling rabbits properly. Huh. Oh, the bunnies look so cute. Lost bunny just spotted in Prospect Park, somebody posted, near the wooded area near Grand Army Plaza. Clearly someone's pet. Prospect Park is here in New York City, says Akolu, Brooklyn to be exact. That's diabolical to just leave the rabbits there. Hi, Alberto. Oh my God, so glad I caught the live stream. How's it going, sweetie? Friendly but shy, not scared of humans but kept its distance. I wanted to post in case anyone has lost their rabbit or in case anyone is experienced at trapping rabbits. Any help would be appreciated. Please feel free to repost and share. Thank you. And then there's a ton of photos of the bunnies. Yeah, no, Reddit is on it. Reddit is like, please review these images and please send any sleuthing witness accounts. Because, yeah, they're building a case. I see. Okay. Terry says domesticated rabbits can't survive in the wilderness. Luna says the photographer put a sorry post claiming they don't know better because it's a 19-year-old girl. Really? So they acknowledge that they freed the bun, that they just let them loose? Louis, friendly but shy. Sounds like me. Cha. Rulongcha says, Mr. POTUS, right. I imagine even those who can afford it will soon find Dior, Chanel, Louis Vuitton in bad taste. Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. Well, thank you for letting me know. I see a photo here of Anna Delvey holding the bunny rabbit. Her cheeks are like up there now. Her lips are like this now. Interesting. I mean, Anna Delvey, yeah, there's a transformation there for sure. Okay, yeah, I see. She posted bunny daycare, she called it. She's holding the bunnies with the photographer, and like she added like hair by, makeup by, styling by. Classic Anna Delvey. Classic Anna Delvey. Mr. Potus says, Rulongcha, I can't see Chanel and many other brands lasting after the next 10 years. Most Gen Zs do not value spending thousands on these purses. They will go for Coach or much cheaper brands. And this is an interesting segue to our next video because there's a lot of Coach to be seen in And Just Like That, Season 3, Episode 10. Hi, Rumpelstiltskin's daughter. Rumpelstiltskin's daughter says, love this channel. Oh, thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you. Tyler says, genuinely mourning And Just Like That. Not gonna lie, I shed a tear about the cancellation, even though it's not as good as Sex and the City. I still loved seeing the lady's journey. Oh, me too, babes. And I'm not embarrassed to say it. I know a lot of people, well, we'll talk about it. Let's film. Hi, everybody, Dacob here, and just like that, we're going to review ourselves another mess of something. A mess of something. Episode 11 of And Just Like That, Season 3. Hi, ladies. Yes, we have received the official news that the show has been canceled. But hear me out. I have stuff to say, not just connected to episode 11 of season 3, but we're going to touch base on a potential future for whatever might be the next chapter for And Just Like That, which might be renamed. And if it were to be renamed, what would the new name be? Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about this episode first. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for everybody who has discovered my channel thus far, thanks to the review of the show. It has been one heck of a journey together. I love talking about the show with you guys, and I love reading your comments under the videos, so keep them coming. And everything I do say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's a legend, just my opinion. So we'll go, as they say. Let me take a sip of coffee. Are you ready, guys? Okay, here's where it's at. Carrie is being Carrie. Carrie, we still love to hate her, okay? Because here's the thing. First of all, I was just talking in another video about fashion with my viewers, and we were talking about luxury bags, how maybe Chanel is not even going to be a thing anymore in 10 years because all the new generation of people, they're just not into certain things anymore and the prices are insane. And I said, but enter Carrie Bradshaw in episode 11 with a huge Coach bag. Coach did the giant coin purse purses made in really big, and then Carrie's kind of wearing it in the show. And this is something that Louis Vuitton already did a couple of seasons ago when they did their little, clay, the little key pouches, zipper pouches. They kind of made them really big. So it's not like, and before Louis Vuitton, others have done it decades prior. This is, to be fair, nothing new, but it is kind of refreshing to see that supple leather that Coach used for this particular type of oversized clutch that Carrie's wearing. So Carrie's being Carrie. What can I tell you? She broke up with Aiden. What's his name? The writer, the English writer, Kincaid. Duncan Kincaid has left the under apartment of her building and he went back to London. I told you in episode 10, I'm like, he's leaving for London. She got a business card from his editor, publisher from London to work with her. Like, she might want to go to London to see him. Samantha is in London. Are we going to see Samantha Jones maybe one last time? But then, guess what? We get episode 11, nothing is happening. I'm like, Michael Patrick King said something to the effect of they knew that this was going to be the last season, so they made this season 2 episodes longer than the other seasons to give us a beautiful farewell in the last 2 episodes. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm watching episode 11. I'm waiting for the emotional beginning of the goodbye. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting, and the 25 minutes pass and nothing happened. And I'm like, man, now we only have one more episode left. Where's this big emotional goodbye for the fans? So what happens? Well, Carrie's feeling more and more lonely. We're getting more and more signals. The world is kind of pointing at her, telling her, like, you're all alone. You're gonna die alone. And she's starting to feel some type of way. She's walking in her old neighborhood. She's walking towards her old apartment. And actually, the show begins with her in one of the bakeries in her neighborhood where she's ordering for Thanksgiving. Yes, we have just skipped Halloween fully. What a disgrace, because you do not skip Halloween. Sorry, not in my books. Look, I love my Halloween. You do not skip Halloween. They skipped Halloween, okay? It's already Thanksgiving. I'm like, okay, so it's November for them. Okay. Miranda is organizing a Thanksgiving dinner at her place. She wants all her friends to come to her place. We see Carrie in one of these bakery pie whatever shops ordering a gazillion pies, a gazillion trinkets to eat for the Thanksgiving event that's supposed to happen at Miranda's place. The lady who's selling her the pies, coincidentally, is one of the main cast of Only Murders in the Building. I forget the actress's name, but she's fabulous. Now, other ladies, and here we have the writers serving Karen galore. Other ladies in the bakery are like overhearing that Carrie is ordering pies, and they get all angry and they say, didn't you just tell us that we're not allowed to pre-order the pies? You said you're all out of pre-orders. And then the whole episode begins with this really, I don't understand why they did it, but it begins with this lame teachable moment of the lady from Murders in the Building educating the Karen and telling her, like, let me tell you something, Missy. For you, I have no pies. For Carrie, I do. Because during the pandemic, where were you? Carrie was here ordering from me constantly. She has been a respectable client. And even when she ordered something and didn't come to pick it up, she still paid for it. And those pies were hanging around here on the other side of the counter until they turned green and moldy, waiting for her, and she never picked them up. But she paid for them. So yes, Carrie gets to order whatever pie she wants. You don't. So zip it. And then Carrie also wants to order some sweet stuff. Then another Karen hears, so you told me I can't order sweets, and the whole thing begins again. Now, the only murders in the building lady fights with the Karens. Carrie's just like kind of like, I don't see you, I don't know you, I don't want to be you, but she keeps ordering the pies. And I thought to myself, what a weird way to begin the show. Anyway, Miranda, so the whole problem is going to be like Miranda wants all her friends to come to her Thanksgiving event dinner. This is the 2-episode finale. I'm like, really? That's all you could think about? So we are now halfway in because the 2 episodes are 1 episode cut in 2. So we haven't had Miranda's Thanksgiving dinner yet, but throughout the episode, it kind of keeps falling apart. More and more people say, I can't come to your thing. So basically the storyline that we have with Charlotte and Harry is Harry thought he wasn't going to make it through the year because of his prostate situation that he had. And of course, Charlotte says, what are you talking about? You caught it in time. It was operated. Of course, you're going to make it through Thanksgiving. And then he says, all I was ever thinking of throughout the entire summer was, I hope I only make it to Thanksgiving, at least to Thanksgiving. I'm like, come on, it's not a big deal. Like that, it's not the holiday to end all holidays, Thanksgiving, you know. Also, what does Thanksgiving stand for? You know? So anyway, so he's like, so I wanted to spend Thanksgiving with you alone because it's special for me now that I have made it through the wilderness after the surgery. And Charlotte's like, okay, fine, we'll spend Thanksgiving together alone. So she kind of is canceling on Miranda. Carrie ordered pies to feed a whole colony of pilgrims. So, you know, there you go. So she's coming. But she also has nothing else to do. Now she goes to meet, she's walking by her old neighborhood after she ordered all the pies, and she meets up with, what's her name? The girl who she sold her apartment to. Okay, and she's like, come up, it's pre-Thanksgiving party. And her apartment is transformed into something, into a monstrosity. So this girl rented out or sold out half the apartment to some other dude, and then they built this artificial wall to split the apartment in 2. And he's like on the other side with friends smoking weed, whatever, and she's on the other side with Lisette. Oh yeah, that's her name. I think they chose that name because they thought it's funny to play some references with Les Miserables and do the Cosette, you know. She dreamed a dream in a half-sized apartment, I guess. So it's a whole other musical. And yes, there is a musical in this episode as well with rock. Man, I'm so disappointed by this episode. Anyway, so okay. Now I just remembered the rock scene. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to have to talk about that sooner or later too. Okay, well, but anyway, so Carrie's sitting on Lisette's bed, and they have that separation between, so the apartment is split in 2, and Carrie's just appalled and disgusted by the whole thing. And they're talking about loneliness, and Lisette says, look, I decided to separate the apartment in 2 and have this guy live with me because I don't want to be alone. I'm scared of being alone. I'm scared of somebody breaking in the middle of the night, unaliving me. So I'd rather have this ugliness of these people who are constantly partying rather than being alone. And Carrie, you can see Carrie kind of thinking, oh, she's alone in that huge house that she bought for herself and Aiden and for Aiden's family. That didn't go anywhere, did it? And I'm like, so where are they going with this? Because mind you, you guys, yeah, I did believe for a second when Michael Patrick King was saying that it was true that they knew the show was ending, so they kind of did those last 2 episodes to say goodbye, to wrap it all up in a nice bow. I don't buy that for a minute, because after the episode ended, I saw on YouTube that HBO posted the promo for the final episode, for episode 12 of season 3. I'm like, oh yeah, let me click on that. Click play. HBO edited this thing, I believe, before they canceled the show. Because when a show ends and you're showing me the last promo for the last episode ever, it begins with the title saying, series finale. Except, surprise, surprise, the promo for episode 12 of season 3 of And Just Like That begins with season finale. I'm like, season finale? What are you trying to say here? Did you not cancel the show after all because you're not calling it a series finale, which is the end of the series? You're just calling it a season finale, which means the series continues in season 4. So I'm like, okay, you know what? No, I don't believe that they thought that this was going to end. No, I don't believe it for a second. Also, the plot line. I was so disappointed. I'm not saying that episode 11 was bad. It's just, it's not a series finale episode. It's not. Okay, so Carrie is now basically, in her mind, she's like, oh, I'm going to die alone. She finished her book. She's going to her publisher. Her publisher is the cleavage lady from The Gilded Age. And I call her the cleavage lady because she's always super covered. But like in last week's episode, she had a huge cutout here. She's like the lady that kind of coordinates all the other ladies in the show. So we got Cynthia Nixon and the other woman, it's like the Gilded Age, but like in the future, basically, and just like that. So she, the cleavage lady, is Carrie's publisher from New York. Oh, Miss Fish, says Gloria. Miss Fish. Yeah, she did kind of look fishy to me. So she's like, I read your book, Carrie. When is the final chapter going to be finished? Carrie says, this is, the book is finished. This is the book. Publisher is like, no, it's not. I must have missed the last chapter then. Let me look. And she scrolls to the end of the book. And she's like, the main female character of this book is just alone in the end. A sphincter. A spinster. Oh, don't you just love those Freud slips? So she's like, can you add something to the book? Like an epilogue? She's like, what do you mean? And so Debbie carries a sphincter. Spinster. Sphincter, spinster, tomato. What are you going to do? So she's like, can you zhuzh up the book? Because she's like, look, our readers need a happy ending. And Carrie's like, I don't think I want to do this is the end, So here I'm thinking, maybe, just maybe, Carrie is going to be like, you know what? I don't want to publish this book with you guys. I have the business card of the publisher from London. Let me fly to London and give her the book. Maybe she will like the ending the way it is. And then we're going to meet Samantha. Here I am, the idiot, still hoping that Samantha is going to show up. I know she ain't. But how can dream? So I'm waiting for Carrie's little tiny light bulb to go off for her to realize, hold on a minute. I have the business card of the publisher from London. Let me call her. She never does. Spoiler alert, she never does. I'm like, what the hell, you guys? That was such a missed opportunity. Anyway, so I think to myself, okay, fine. If she's not going to call the editor in England, is she going to have a fight with the ladyfish and be like, it's either this or nothing, Because it's not like she needs the money. She's rich, right? She has Big's millions. She already published 6 or 7 books. So she's living the life. She's just writing books now just because she can, not because she has to. So I'm like, so just burn the book and call it a day. But no, guess what? At the end of the episode, she's actually sitting in her apartment writing the epilogue, trying to give the woman, because the woman is nameless, right? Allegedly in the book, to give her a happy ending, like, oh, the epilogue, oh, the cousin is coming with the man and blah, 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 and she has another chance at meeting someone. I'm like, wow, how lame. But in all of this, before she writes the epilogue, she meets up with the girls for lunch or something, and she tells them, the being alone, and is she going to end up alone? What's going to happen? The this, the that. They're talking about it. We'll try to do this, try to do that, like super boring. And meanwhile, Charlotte invites everybody to Rock's musical. Yes, Rock's school is doing a musical, and Rock is playing the part of a girl. Charlotte is in love because she feels like her daughter is back. Now, as if you guys don't remember, Rock is non-binary. So Rock doesn't want to dress in dresses, doesn't want to put makeup on, doesn't want to have all girly stuff. But for the part in the musical that Rock is playing in this episode, Rock has to wear girly stuff. So Charlotte is shocked when she sees Rock dressed as a girl. So she, she's all like, oh, my baby girl. Oh, but she doesn't want to show that emotion because she doesn't want to hurt Rock's feelings. Long story short, they all go to the premiere of the musical where Rock is performing as a woman. But Rock told Charlotte, you're not allowed to take photos. So Charlotte tells Carrie, I was told I'm not allowed to take photos, but you are allowed to take photos, and you better take photos. I want to see my daughter. Even though the daughter is like, I'm not a daughter. I am non-binary. Okay. So Carrie sneaks in the photos, gives them to Charlotte, and Charlotte is like kind of later on after the show is over, Charlotte is going through the photos like super sad, going through the photos of Rock dressed in a female costume for the show. So I'm like, oh my God, girl, just because like your kid doesn't want to dress in a certain way and just I get it, but I don't get it also. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm like, just let that individual live their life. Love them the way they are. Don't try to push them to be something you want them to be when they don't want to be that. And stop doing these scenes where you're, validating then other people's ideas of how they have to push their kids in a certain direction. Let the kid look, it's a teenager. It goes through phases. Let them do what they do. Don't get me wrong, though. I understand Charlotte's point. I understand that she's mourning something. I get it. I totally get it. But Rock is happy. You know what I mean? The way that they're portraying Rock in the show, Rock is happy the way Rock is. So just move on. Be happy that your kid is happy. Like, isn't that the bottom line? Isn't that the bottom line? If your kid is happy, isn't that supposed to make your heart full of joy and happiness that your kid is happy? Just be happy for your kid. It's that easy. Your kid is super happy. So be happy that your kid is happy. Then, in all of this, the only moment when I thought, oh, they're trying to wrap this up a little bit, is because Giuseppe is proposing to Anthony. And this is the weirdest moment because they're shopping for clothes, and in the dressing room, while he's taking off his sweater, so he's topless, he goes down on his knees and he proposes to Anthony. Anthony's super happy, hugs him and says yes. Next scene, we see Anthony talking to Carrie as they're going to Rock's musical. As Giuseppe is in the bathroom, Anthony says to Carrie, we don't have much time. I have to tell you something. He proposed to me. I said yes. Carrie's like, oh my God, that's amazing. But he's like, but wait, I'm not sure I want to marry him. And Carrie's like, what? So Anthony is now having second thoughts. He's doubting that this relationship is a good relationship. He's like, look, he's much younger than me. I take care of him. Even in the dressing room, I had to tell him what to wear. I had to tell him what to do. I had to tell him to move in with me because he didn't know that the guy that he was living with was lusting over him. He had no clue. But in reality, he was. So he's kind of like a lost kid. And I have the feeling I'm mothering him all the time. And I don't want to be a mother to somebody. I want to be his partner. So now Anthony's having second thoughts. And when Giuseppe proposed to him, I thought, oh, this is kind of wrapping up in a bow one of the storylines. But right after I thought we're wrapping up the show a little bit, no, there comes a scene with Anthony saying, I don't want this. I actually, you know what? I'm not sure I want this. So that was kind of bizarre. But then we have Seema with her gardener in the shower, and he goes down on her. You know, he's trimming the bush, okay, with his tongue. That's a whole scene. You know, as Valerie Cherish would say in the comeback, I don't want to see that. But we did. And then he said something to the effect, yeah, yummy, I love you. Do you want to have Thanksgiving dinner with my sister? Meet the family. And she said to him, I love you too. I'm like, well, he ate the bush. He said he loves her. She said thank you. People are saying he didn't even wash his face after that. I'm like, why would he wash his face? He was in the shower anyway. People are strange. Very strange. Human beings. Such a strange species. Anyway. So he says, I love you. She says, I love you. He says, come to dinner with my sister. Meet my sister. She says, okay. What does this mean? She's going to cancel with Miranda. So there's another guest that's going to abandon Miranda's Thanksgiving dinner. So you know Miranda's going to be upset because we know that Miranda loves to coordinate, organize. She's very structured like a lawyer. She does not like improv. Okay? Miranda does not like improv. If she has her 10 guests on the list, those 10 guests better come to the party or else. Here's the thing though. Now we're at Miranda's place. She's having dinner with Joy and the two weird dogs. Brady comes in. Long story short, Miranda tells Brady. Well, actually, she doesn't. He attacks Miranda because he says, why did Mia tell me that you invited her to Thanksgiving dinner? Now, if you guys don't know who Mia is the lady that Brady knocked up. And now she had herses. She's just about to give birth to Brady's and her baby. Brady apparently hooked up with her a couple of times, but he doesn't want to have anything to do with her. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him. She's fine with raising the baby on her own. Miranda, however, is not fine with it. So Miranda goes behind Brady's back and invites Mia to the Thanksgiving dinner. I do not understand how the writers could have come up with this plot line, and I'm telling you this why. Because just one episode ago, Miranda found out for the first time that Brady was going to have a kid. Because he told Miranda in episode 10, while he was cooking for her and for Steve, that's the only moment we see Steve in the show, by the way. He's going to come back in episode 12, but, because we saw it in the promo for episode 12, but in episode 10, Steve has a breakdown because Brady invites them to dinner. Well, invites them. He's at Miranda's place, cooks dinner for them. He's a chef now. And he tells them, I'm going to have a baby, but I don't want the baby, and the baby's mama doesn't want me, so we'll go. Miranda in episode 10 finds out who this Mia is, where she works. She works at a beauty parlor, like a hair salon. Check out my review of episode 8, 9, 10. I did one video of 3 episodes together in my last live stream, or I posted it as a separate video. Anyway, long story short, she sneaks in to the hair salon. Mia does her shampooing. There's a whole thing that happens there. Mia is really angry at Miranda for having lied to her about her real intentions, her true intentions. Like, why did you come here to snoop around and find out stuff about me? Why didn't you tell me from the get-go who you were? Because she was acting like somebody else, not like she was Brady's mother. But then finally she told her she's her mother. Mia is super upset, walks away and farts a couple of times as she's walking away. Haha. They keep referencing the old Sex and the City episodes. Remember the pulling the finger? Miranda pulled her own finger when she was pregnant in Sex and the City. And then she said, pulled the finger, farted, and said, oh my God, I just pulled my own finger when she was shopping for shoes with Carrie. And here's what I'm thinking. They're really on this nostalgia trip with us. Like, they're suckering us in. Like, I can't even. I've noticed this happening with a lot of brands. Yes, our generation is already in the dumpster because we've been around the block a couple of times, okay? Like, we are such suckers for nostalgia. We're going to buy anything. Okay, I can only speak for myself at this point because I don't know about you, but like, you can get me with the nostalgia. I buy old school toys that they re-release because of the nostalgia. I'm going to go watch a movie that they're going to remake from a movie from the past because of the nostalgia. I'm going to go and buy a certain cut outfit or sneakers or color of clothes or accessories because they're reissuing something from the past. Why are they doing it? Because they know I'm going to buy it because of the nostalgia. And looky, eggs and cookies, it's what they're doing with Sex and the City. All of the shticks, the jokes, and the little tricks that they're doing with us, where we actually laugh, it's when they pull the nostalgia thing on us. Like with Miranda farting, pulling her own finger, they had to redo it with Mia. So like they're kind of constantly referencing all of the past Sex and the City things, and like they're not adding, you know what I mean? They're not giving us something new to laugh about, something new. They're only recycling what they already invented years ago. I'm like, why aren't you inventing something new? Give us something new. Give us something new that's memorable. Instead of making us live in this constant weird limbo of nostalgia. But it's like, you know, with photocopies, like when you do analog photocopying, not digital, back in the day with the Xerox machine, every time, so like let's say I put a picture on the photocopy machine and I make a copy of it, I take that out, I put the copy on and put that on and make a copy of the copy. With every copy you make, the copy that comes out printed is you're losing a generation of quality. It gets less and less quality. You know what I mean? This is the feeling I'm getting with this show. Every time they repeat a joke, every time they repeat a scene that they've already filmed similar and just like that, it's like every time they do that, they end up watering things down. Yeah, I get it that we feel the nostalgia. Yeah, but it's watered down because it's never going to have the same impact as the first time they filmed that scene decades ago. It just won't. But why aren't they giving us new moments instead of giving us highlights of the show, as in repeating, copying what we already had in the old show? It's called the degradation. Degrade. As John Galliano would say, the degrade. The degrade. So there's that. Now, but we digress. So I'm thinking Mia was super angry at Miranda. She leaves, like she wets her with water while she's washing her hair. She attacks her verbally. She walks away and farts. She's super angry. Like, so how come we didn't see the evolution? Like, Mia was super upset with Miranda. Like, how did we get from that moment to now the next episode? Miranda's like chitty chatty with Mia all of a sudden. How? And she invited her to Thanksgiving, and Mia said yes. How is that possible? Just one episode ago, Mia didn't want to have anything to do with Brady. Mia didn't want to have anything to do with his family. And all of a sudden, yeah, sure, I went behind your back, Brady, and I invited Mia to dinner, and she said yes. I thought you'd be fine with it. Of course he's not fine with it. He told you very clearly he's not fine with it. Super bizarre. So that happened, all while Joy and her dogs were feeling very out of place. Because Joy and Miranda were having dinner when Brady barged in on them, attacking Miranda for having invited Mia to the dinner. So he says he's not going to come to the dinner. So Miranda's losing more guests for her Thanksgiving dinner. So he leaves the house. Joy went to the other room, like, and Miranda's just like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? Crazy stuff. So in all this, we do have Carrie carrying the Coach bag, the oversized coin pouch turned into a huge, ginormous bag. Cute. Harry can't get a boner. He's still struggling with his virility. LTW, yeah, so Lisa Todd Wexley. So she's having issues with her husband, you know, because he cannot get over the fact that he lost the election for city council something. And so he's like really upset, and Lisa Todd Wexley's really trying to comfort him, to be there for him. But he's so irritated by his loss of the election that he kind of takes it out on her. So he snaps at her, you know, whenever she tries to kind of tell him that he is a wonderful person, that he's a strong person, he just, you know, he just snaps at her. And so she's now upset. So she leaves the house and he's like working on his stuff and he's just irritated and cramped up. So we know that she's going to, whose arms and embrace is she going to run to? And we saw that in the promo for episode 12. Her editor is coming back into the picture. We did not see him in episode 11, but he'll be back in episode 12. So I guess they're setting up the situation where Lisa might do a little fiddly diddly with the editor. We don't know though, but it's a possibility. But I'm like, oh, so all of this has been building up towards episode 12 so that she would be unfaithful to her hubby, but then that's the end of the show? Okay. You see what I mean? It all makes no sense. It's like it doesn't feel like the end of the series. This really feels like the end of a season. And they're building up for little cliffhangers. You know, like what are we going to see in next season? Because everything is kind of slow. It's a slow cook. You know, there's no bursts. There's no boiling, sizzling, titillating anything. Everything is cooking and marinating slowly. I'm like, this is not how you end the show. This is not how you end the show. Matter of fact, here we get to the point I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Here's the thing. A little birdie has been telling people online that apparently Sarah Jessica Parker is so upset about the cancellation of the show that unlike what they're trying to tell us, like they knew it was happening, allegedly they didn't know it was happening. So she is now with a propeller in her butt, jumping from TV station to TV station, from streaming network to streaming network, trying to find anybody who would accept in any way the continuation of this shenanigan. And this is why we get to the point where I'm thinking, if she manages to sell this show to somebody else, first of all, Sarah Jessica Parker, first of all, she didn't write Sex and the City. The Candace what's her name? Candace Owens did not write the show. What's the name? Another Candace. What's her name? The writer of Sex and the City, of the books. She owns the rights to the books, not Sarah Jessica Parker. So I'm like, so who is she? So how can Sarah Jessica Parker just be like, you know what? Oh, Candace Bushnell. Bunshell or Bushnell? Candace Bushnell. Thank you, guys. Yeah, Candace Bushnell. Here you go. So what's she going to do? Like, she doesn't own the rights to Sex and the City unless Candace doesn't tell her, yeah, you can do it. But then I'm sure HBO also has some rights. Like, I don't know what to believe about Sarah Jessica Parker, like, just saying, oh, okay, we're done with HBO. HBO doesn't want us anymore. Okay, let me go to Netflix. Let me go to MGM. You know, let me go to Hulu. Let me go to Paramount. Like, I don't know, you guys. It all seems very forced. But look, would I like it if the show continued? Yes, I would. Because unlike most people who really are saying, like in the comments, oh, thank God the show is over. Really? You're saying thank God the show was over. You religiously watched every episode. Yeah, you hate watched, but you watched. You're going to be sad it's gone. Even if nothing, even just because you loved to hate watch it. Okay. I'm going to miss the girls because I think this was a cuckoo show that just was so out of touch with reality to the point where it felt like a fever dream with really bad writing, but I loved it anyway. To me, it was like a guilty pleasure. I would watch it. I would pig out pizza, hamburger, something, doing my nails, wearing my Chanel necklaces while I watched the episode. And I'm feeling my feels, okay? I'm like, oh man, can't we have anything? Like it's 2025, you already have so little. We almost have nothing left. Let's be real here for a second. I don't understand the people saying like, oh, finally the show is over. The show is, I'm like, we have barely anything left, people. Okay? Like, and now we're like rejoicing the fact that this show is over too. Like, I don't get it. Honestly. I don't get it. Can't we have something? But I do believe that Sarah Jessica Parker is kind of looking to find another home for And Just Like That, because it does not, honestly, you guys, all jokes aside, this does not feel like a series finale. Like the first of 2 episodes. I get it, we have 1 more episode left, but what are you going to do in 25 minutes? Because that's how long the episodes are. Okay, we just wasted 25 minutes 2 days ago when they aired episode 11, and now we have another 25 minutes left for the finale. Give me a break. What can you wrap up in 25 minutes? Nothing. Either we get a really better ending, but yeah, I don't know. Just we can't have anything, can we? It's all gone. They're taking it all away from us. So what if the show was cringy and bad? It gave you some emotions. It made you so angry that it was so cringy and bad that you felt some type of way. At least you felt something. Which is, sad to say, way more than anything else has been happening to us lately. You know what I mean? At least it made you feel something. Yeah, when Carrie, like, what was it, episode 2 or 3 of season 3, when she wore that strawberry shortcake muffin top hat. Yeah, did we all say it was cringe AF? Yeah. Would anybody in their sane mind walk through, where was she, by the way? I think she was somewhere in nature. Would you be caught dead walking around like that? No. But it was fun watching, It's like a train wreck situation, When we watched Trisha Paytas crying on the kitchen floor, telling us she felt like a chicken nugget. Like, that's the vibe. That's the vibe. We were like, oh my God, Carrie's walking around with her strawberry shortcake, thing. And, oh, was she in Central Park? In Central Park. It's a moment. We'll remember that ugly hat. We will, for better or for worse. But it's, it is. It is what it is. Yeah, DL says it was fun at least, right? There you go. Rumpelstiltskin's daughter says, I loved watching this in my 30s, and now I loved watching it in my 50s. Now what am I going to watch with a woman my age? The Gilded Age. You're going to watch The Gilded Age, Wednesday, season 2. Joanna Lumley is in it. You're going to watch Too Much from Lena Dunham. Stephen King's The Institute. There's stuff to watch, but I'm going to miss it. Sorry. I know people are like, oh no, but it's a terrible show. Look, also, quite frankly, I don't get it. People watch the show, they hate watch it, then they come to channels like mine to watch the recap. And then in the comments, they write like really like negative stuff about the show. And I'm like, I get it. You're entitled to your opinion. Of course you are. Of course you're entitled to your opinion. But then I don't understand how people feel like entitled to be homophobe in the comments. Like I had somebody write comment something like, there's too many gay themes in the show and too many trans this in the show and too many, this is like, they're all deviates. I loved your recap. Heart, heart, heart. I'm like, dear viewer, you must be blind because you're commenting under my video really homophobe shit. Like, hello, what is not computing with you? And this is something that our times are very, very proclivious to, and that is homophobia. It's being normalized, it's being internalized, and people are feeling mighty bold to just make fun of it and make fun of us. Entitled, as if it were the most normal thing to do. Well, it's not the most normal thing to do, so please stop it. These things go in circles and cycles, and just because you think now and forever you may behave that way, times will change again, and you will not be able to behave that way again. But here's the thing. People like me will never forget. So think twice before you decide to spread your hate as if it were nothing. Like cereal you eat early in the morning that you shit out later on in the afternoon after you've had your second coffee. Not happening. Not on my watch. So, I will miss this show, for better or for worse. I'm very much looking forward to the last episode. And you know what? If Sarah Jessica Parker manages to somehow miraculously sell the show to another network and rename it, like, I don't know, what she might call it. I will watch it. I will watch it. Wherever she decides to take the show, I'm going to watch it. So let's see. And just like that is over. So what would the new show be called? I don't know. I would call it maybe, Louis says, and I couldn't help but wonder. Yeah, that could be the title of the new show. Or they could call it, I don't know what they could call it. Here we go again. That would be a good one. Here we go again. Oh, Sex and the City again. Well, here we go again. Yeah, Katana, that's the one. Oh, Sarah as Suddenly. Yeah. Suddenly. Oh, no. You know what? Wait. Okay, I got the title. Are you ready for this? The new show, if she sells it to another network, it's going to be called, I would love a show. No, you guys, the title is amazing. I'm sorry. That's it. That's the new show. It's called, with the side eye, like, everybody's gonna be like, not to be confused with Trixie Mattel's and Katya's. Yeah, that's a different one. Because that is, because that's a sexual context. This one is not sexualized. This is more like, what the hell did you just do? You're not doing it again, are you? That's the, it's like, okay. With the side, like, oh. And they can use the meme with the little girl in the car. You know, the blonde girl in the car with the two bunny teeth? And she's like, that's the one. That's the poster. And they can Photoshop Sarah Jessica Parker's face on, on the meme. And they call it, and that's it. Yeah, call it We'll Go. That would be good too, but nobody would know what it is. But the world will know. So anyway, That's our recap of episode 11. I mean, I don't think that in episode 12 they're going to travel to London and meet Samantha. But you know what? Maybe Samantha will fly to New York. Oh, Lunar says, how many people would watch if they just called it Samantha's Back? You really think Sarah Jessica Parker would allow a show to be called like that, or even an episode? Forget it. No, her ego is too hurt, I feel. But I can tell you this much. If I were the owner of Netflix and Sarah Jessica Parker came to me saying, I really want to, to continue the show, would you be interested? If I were Netflix, I would be like, sure, you betcha, sure. Only if you manage to, by hook or by crook, bring Kim Cattrall back. That's the deal. Kim Cattrall or no deal. That would be my condition. You know what I mean? Oh, you're used to getting $2 million per episode. Now you want $3 million? Yeah, I can give you $3 million per episode. But condition, Kim Cattrall. You got whatever you gotta do. Whatever you gotta do. You gotta lick her booty for the rest of eternity? If that's her condition to return back, that's your problem, Miss Thing. If you want the show on my network, you gotta bring her back. Do what you gotta do. Make your magic happen. That's the deal. Kim Cattrall or no deal. Period. That would be my condition. That would be my condition. And then SJP would be like, and that's how we got the title of the new show. Rooted in reality. Here you go. Oh, that other meme. You remember that other meme of that doll, like from the 50s, like from a TV show for kids? That those two dolls that look like they're like chubby and they're looking at each other. And usually the meme reads like, me and my friend in a direct elevator down to hell while we were thinking that we stepped into the elevator after our life was over going to heaven. And as the elevator starts collapsing downwards, the two dolls are looking at each other like, that's Sarah Jessica Parker's face when they tell her either Kim Cattrall is back or no show. And she's like, period. That's the new show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe. Let me know down below your thoughts and prayers. And tune in next week when we review whatever is left of the show in episode 12 of season 3 of it. Just like that. Love you loads. Subscribe. Thumb up the video. Never give up on love. Bye. Kim not being there was the downfall of this show, among some other things. Yeah. XOXO. Hi, John Paul Jones. Hi, Diego. Just like that. Yeah. Gloria says, oh my God, you would have me back watching in a New York minute. Yeah. Funny story. Kim Cattrall's home in Vancouver Island is very close to my friend's house. I am on Kim's team, says Naked Eyes. Akulu says, by the way, Sarah Jessica Parker and AJLT and Stephen Colbert, these streamers are going to have a ball. Wait. I'm bad with abbreviations. Who's AJLT? AJLT. Oh, I came at the very end. Hi, Obscene. How's it going? Absolutely 100%. Well, oh, and just like that. Oh, okay. So it's not AJLT. It's AJLT. Babes, you got me like thinking like, what? Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah. That's the one. Oh, man. Well, and just like that, the show is over. But the party continues in the after show where for Tier 2 members and Tier 2 patrons, we have another live stream beginning at the end of this stream, and I will be unboxing something that YouTube sent me. Super excited. Plus, we have some other topics to cover in the after show. So, as Wendy Williams would say, grab a snack and come on back for the after show. Until then, thank you, mods, for keeping us safe today. Hit it, Bubbles. Okay, we'll go. And now, Bubbles, could you thank the mods?
A special thanks to the mods in the fashion bunker. That's my horror, Audrey, Age, Gloria, Kev, Nicole, and Terry. Bubbles loves you.
Where's... Living Ferret, Labubu Ferret is next.
I'm living ferret, living ferret, living ferret, living ferret, living ferret, living ferret.
Go shopping, little Labubu. Go shopping. Go get yourself a trinket or something. And then we have, oh yes, the dying ferret. Okay, dying ferret next.
Dying ferret, dying ferret, dying ferret, dying ferret, dying ferret.
Ratchet, you're losing your little fur. These little mongrels. They're having the time of their lives in the fashion bunker. Sometimes I'm just like walking around like, where's the Labubu? Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, it's a mess. Time for limb fair. Ah! You've been a bad Linda. Very, very bad Linda. So listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda.
And as for and just like that, you know, the hate watching, honey, I'm used to it. Oh, thank you, CMG. Welcome to Tier 2 for becoming a member. People love to hate watch my show too, so I know a thing or two about hate watching. Here's to Queen Camilla. Cheers. Here's to Charlie. Whew, the Charlie water. And then, what are we obsessed with this week? I want to say, this week I am obsessed with Joanna Parker Halloween decor. Hit it, Bubbles.
I am obsessed.
I am obsessed. I am obsessed. I am obsessed. Oh, oh.
And we have ourselves an unboxing in the after show. But for now, we have a Baby Yoda appearing to sing Cha 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 Cha. Wait, yeah. As there he is, Baby Yoda. Give it. Wait, I have to go in here. It's hard. Okay, sing it, baby.
Ciao, 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 ciao. Ciao, 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 ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Ciao.
the gravitas, the pathos, or the pathos of Baby Yoda singing cha, 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 cha. It's an evergreen. What can I say? So much so that it's green. I hope you had fun today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And for the Tier 2 members and Tier 2 patrons, again, as Wendy Williams would say, grab a snack and come on back. I'm just going to freshen up a bit, and then we're going to jump straight into our after party live stream. And for everybody else, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, a great beginning to a new week. And until next time, see you somewhere in the dreams. Akolu, thank you for becoming a Tier 2 member. And I shall see you in the next stream. Love you loads. Never give up on love. Bye.